I was always told that consequences are the result of an action, but only if that action initiates a response. Don't move. So today, we're going to play a very, very simple game. I'm going to ask you some questions. You're going to give me some answers. I'll even give you a hint. All the answers are the same. Ready? Question number 1. Who is the most educated group in America across all levels of education? Bachelor, master's, and professional. You got your answer? Hold on to that. Question number 2. These degrees that they're deeming unprofessional now will receive less funding. Who are the majority holders of those degrees? Got your answer? Hold on to that. Question number 3. A lot of these now deemed unprofessional degrees, weirdly enough, seem to lead to professions that are also mandated reporters. Now you tell me, what group is the majority of mandated reporters? You have your answer? Hold on to that. Question number 4. The majority of these unprofessional degrees lead to professions of health and human services. Now you tell me, who makes up the majority of the workers in these roles? Got your answer? Hold on to that. And question number 5. The majority of these degrees were also essential workers during our last pandemic. So God forbid we have another one. Who do you think that puts in the most danger? Got your answer? Hold on to that. Well, I hope you have your answer. But if you don't, I'm going to try to make it a little easier for you. The same administration that's doing this, the same administration that's fighting to control the bodies of these people via laws and legislation. The same administration is having registered offenders in the White House. The same administration is protecting sex abusers. And they want you to believe it's not deliberate, when it is. Consequences are a result of an action, but only if that action initiates a response. You have to respond. You responded before. Remember, you didn't have the right to vote. Remember, you didn't have the right to a credit card. A man had to co-sign for you. Remember, you didn't have the right to birth control. You have to respond. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful day. You know I love you and I'll see you tomorrow. But if I don't, stay out of trouble.
Breaking news. The Trump administration is saying nurses are not professionals. It is frankly insulting. Nurses and teachers are the backbone of our community. Because of this change, nurses will not be able to get educational loans for advanced studies or graduate degrees. I'm fighting to make sure nurses are classified as professionals again and that they can get financial aid.
Since my nursing degree will not be a professional degree, don't fucking come to me talking about my Facebook page, my TikTok page. Oh, it's not professional. It's not this, that, and third. Bitch, I don't need to be professional no more. This is not a professional degree. You will not get no professionalism from me, especially not on the motherfucking internet. I don't want to hear you represent the company. You represent the school. It's not a professional degree. This is McDonald's at this point, bitch. I'm flipping patties.
In 2020, nurses were among the people that stood side by side with doctors in hospitals that were overcrowded, in ICU patients, all of whom were ventilated, all of whom were spreading COVID virus for which we had no vaccine all over the place. They were the first responders who gave their very life when the breath of the very patient could kill them. And today, they are no longer considered a profession and not able to get the funding that they need to go to nursing school. Nursing school elevates everybody in the community. If you have a community nursing school in your area, it is a great thing. I remember going to a nursing graduation and seeing many people who were in their first generation with older kids themselves becoming nurses, elevating their entire family, but also making our community safer and better because we had more nurses in our community. Healthcare is one of the biggest professions that people can get in, and it's in every community, and nurses are a profession. I couldn't do my job without them. They're a profession, and it is an absolute travesty that they think theologians are a profession, but nurses aren't. Listen, I don't know about saving someone's soul, but I can tell you, I have seen countless lives saved by nurses. Save the soul for the afterlife. have the nurses get their training for this one.
As a healthcare professional, I've watched a shift. New grads can't find jobs, experienced nurses are burning out. In fact, the Trump administration just announced that nursing is not even considered a professional degree anymore. And for a lot of these healthcare jobs, the pay doesn't even match the workload. And as immigrants or first-generation professionals, a lot of us were told that healthcare, especially nursing, would be our golden ticket. But times are changing, people. And that's why I'm teaching healthcare workers how to build income that doesn't rely on 12 or 16-hour shifts. Because in this economy, you deserve options. So comment or DM me info if you're looking for a smarter way to earn online.
Welcome back to Rika's Take. After part 1 and part 2, the conversation around Trump's classification of nursing has taken a new turn. So people aren't just reacting anymore. Now they are trying, to debating, correcting, arguing, and trying to understand what really happened. Today we are diving into the next chapter of these stories. So if you didn't watch part 1 and part 2, you can check out my YouTube channel. You found out what really discussed before.
We were the most depended on. We were the heroes during COVID, the most celebrated, the most depended on, but now nursing isn't even being recognized as a professional degree. I'm a nurse practitioner who changes lives on the front line every single day, and I bill for my services, and yet these new financial aid charges shut us out. It feels very misogynistic. As a woman of color, I'm used to being left out of the conversation, but this terrifies me for all of our futures. This will push people away from nursing when we already don't have enough. So who's going to take care of the sick? Who's going to take care of the communities? With this administration, so many changes have harmed the health of our people. At what point will it end? At what point will it end?
Position, I just want to name not only how much my professional degree, but also how much my clinical competency often relies on these professional degrees right here. I'll start with nurses because y'all are my dogs. If you meet a physician who tells you there has never been a time when a nurse has either saved their own ass or saved the patient's life, they're lying. We cover too many patients to know the nuances and the subtle changes or the lab value that comes in immediately like your nurse does. Your nurse is your advocate. They will wipe your shit while you are yelling at them with a smile on their face. And I don't know what's more professional than that. Our licensed therapists and social workers. I moonlight at a rural hospital that does not want to pay for a psychiatrist to be in overnight. So they hire social workers who do the initial clinical assessment for someone who comes in the emergency department. That social worker then calls me to review the case, especially if they're considering whether or not the person should go inpatient, or needs to be committed for some reason. Those things have to be run by a physician. But my ability to make a decision that I hope is appropriate for the patient relies on the clinical competency and professional degree that these people hold, because without it, I don't have the information that I need to make a decision. This will devastate patient care. All this has done is reinforced the hierarchy that exists within medicine and other degrees as well, and that some jobs are deemed more valuable than others. Healthcare doesn't exist without these degrees. I won't show up in a hospital without these degrees. By making these changes and limiting access to borrowers to pursue these degrees, that is inevitably what's going to happen. Don't even get me started on educators, because that pretty much attacks my whole family.
By now you've probably heard that the Department of Education is being rolled into the Department of Labor, and they are redefining what is considered a professional degree or career. Here's the original list of professional degrees, and then later they decided to add clinical psychologists. So what does this mean for mental health professionals? Because counselors and therapists are not on this list. And what about school psychologists and health psychologists and counseling psychologists? I did some digging, and for better or for worse, all psychologists are on this list. And here are the other qualifications which the other professions all meet, except for theology, because you can have a master's in theology and still be considered a professional. So what does this all mean? First, while I'm glad that some mental health professionals are on this list, PhDs are generally funded. PsyDs are pretty expensive, so great. Glad that we can take out more loans to get those. But a degree in counseling or social work can run upwards of $15,000 to $20,000 per semester for out-of-state tuition or for private institutions. And the cap is at $20,000 in federal loans per year. That makes this degree unattainable for most people who aren't born wealthy. And when it comes to practice, the majority of mental health clinicians are master's level therapists. The mental health field is predominantly female and white. It is already exceedingly difficult for clinicians of color to be licensed without pre-existing wealth, because we are largely exploited and underpaid for the majority of our internship and training. That's just attaining the clinical hours, not even counting the additional tuition that we have to pay. Our communities are already underserved with increasing rates of suicide and adolescent mental health crises. And let's be honest, is anybody truly mentally well right now? Do you know anyone who is thriving? So what do you think this is going to do to the future of mental health care in this country?
People are mad at me because I come in with a plan of being proactive to get out of nursing before nursing burns me out, which all of these RNs and stuff get on the internet all day and complain about the hospital ratios, how the administrators treat them, how much they get paid. And all I did was say I'm not pursuing CRNA to start investing as a nurse. I'm an LPN still, and the internet is in an uproar. They're mad because I'm not going to CRNA school, the same healthcare field that I see y'all complaining about every day on the app. The same degree in healthcare field I see nurses on here complaining about every day. And because I had an option to get out and I'm finding a way to invest my way to wealth instead of going to school for wealth, now we're angry. You know what? Fuck y'all. Motherfucker, I don't give a damn. Bro, I'm not about to be working in a hospital at 45, 50 years old. And I'm not saying no age limit. I'm 24 right now, 25 right now. I turned 25 today. I'm not working in a hospital my whole fucking life. I have to invest my way to wealth. I'm going to retire at a certain age. I don't want to retire at 65. I want to retire maybe at 35, 40. All right? So I'm about to invest my way to wealth. Yeah. I'm getting that. I don't give a damn. This is my life. First of all, a lot of y'all should be taking heed to what I'm doing. It's kind of naive to think that every nurse that I have ever met that's been a nurse 10, 15 years is sitting and burnt out. Why did I think I'm going to be any different? Nope, I'm about to invest my way, start now, and maybe in 10 years I can stop working as a nurse. I'm still working as a nurse though. Y'all working as an LPN now. But in 10 years I won't be working no more. Thank you. The people that want to learn how to I do it, y'all want to do it too. We literally both have 10 years to get rich. You watching me do it, taking the risk. All you have to do is watch me grow my wealth and copy and paste. In 10 years we won't be working no more. Hey, go ahead. Tear me up on the internet. I love the hate.
In a controversial move, the Trump administration is proposing a redefinition of what it means to hold a professional degree. Under the proposal, professional degrees will be limited to a narrow list: pharmacy, dentistry, veterinary medicine, law, certain branches of medicine, optometry, podiatry, osteopathic medicine, and theology. This means that degrees in social work, nursing, mental health, and other essential caregiving fields might no longer qualify as professional. These fields, like social work and nursing, are predominantly female, with over 90% of registered nurses being women. By excluding these fields from the professional category, the proposal could further disenfranchise women, limiting women's upward mobility and reinforcing existing gender disparities. This redefinition isn't just about labels. It impacts federal student loan eligibility and financial aid, making it harder for those in these fields to access the support they need. Ultimately, it further disenfranchises these professionals and limits their upward mobility, reinforcing barriers especially for those already burdened with significant student debt. In the end, this proposal could reshape who gets recognized as a professional and who gets left behind.
Hey everyone. So nursing is not a professional degree. That's something. Recent statements from the educational department suggest that nursing is not classified as a professional degree. This is not only factually incorrect, it undermines an entire workforce whose expertise, licensures, and professional judgment form the backbone of the healthcare system in the United States. Nursing is and has always been a profession recognized by federal and state agencies, accrediting bodies, global standards. I don't know what they're talking about. But what does that mean for healthcare? Nothing good. Well, it's going to be more difficult to advance your degree because there will be a cap. You'll only be able to use $20,500. You'll only be allowed to borrow $20,500 per year for graduate students. So if you could only imagine, this is going to make it much, much harder for us to go back to school, you know, to get your master's, to get your doctorate, nurse practitioner, physician assistants, educators. They're just making it more difficult, but we'll find a way. We'll find a way to get this overturned. Because devaluing nursing harms the healthcare system and the public. Statements that strip nursing of its professional status undermines workforce retention, will degrade academic pathways. It most certainly threatens patient safety, and this will contribute to burnout and shortages. Minimize the sacrifices of frontline clinicians. Really? At a time when the nation faces escalating shortages, moral injury, and record suicide rates among healthcare workers. Off the charts. Such messaging is not only inaccurate, it is dangerous. Because nursing is, by every legal, educational, ethical, and scientific standard, a regulated profession, essential to the functioning of the healthcare in the United States. So how is this not a professional degree? It's incomprehensible. Any suggestions to the contrary reflects a fundamental misunderstanding. Somebody needs to know exactly what nurses do and how professional we are. So we urge the Education Department to correct the record and reaffirm nursing as a professional degree. It unquestionably is. Thank you for listening. I know this was a little long, but I needed to say it. So post your comments, like, share, and follow. This is Stacy from the Kimberly Sager Charity Foundation. Stay strong, healthcare community. Where would we be without you? Not in a very good place. Stay strong. We got this.
Yesterday, I saw one of the most insensitive videos on this platform, and I was what's the word now? I was disappointed by the level of ignorance by a so-called doctor. A doctor. Do you know what it means to be a doctor? That means you have gone to school for about 7 years, and then you've studied well, and we need to see some certain form of professionalism. I see some of you on this platform just coming to disgrace yourself and your institutions. That shows that to a level you don't have professionalism. It's not all about just reading book alone. That's not all. It shows that you are not educated. But personal doctor, I'm happy that you were able to apologize. You apologize to people and you apologize to the people in general. That is very, very important, because if you didn't do that, it has been so bad for you. You get the point? It has been so bad for you. But back to this whole matter, doctors, face your business. I don't know why such matter like it's just triggering you. Why is it triggering you? Why? You know what? A professional is someone who has mastered skill in a certain profession. So by stance, nursing is a professional job. Not only because you have license, you are dealing with life, you are being taught the clinical part, the nursing care part, everything. So I see why, I can't see a reason why US is coming up with this policy. And people are going with the form of, oh, they're trying to reduce student loan, blah, 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 blah. That's crap. For real, that's crap. So doctors are so very easy to pry into people's business. Focus on you guys are currently on strike, Abby. Fight for your demands and leave nurses alone. And nurses, speak out, speak out, speak out. When you need to speak out, talk. They are not your God. Speak out. I love the way he was treated. He was treated with ash and strong hand. He's very, very lucky that he apologized. If not, that his speech would have gone down. And this is not me trying to be unprofessional. I'm just saying that some persons, they need to be treated as the way they are showing themselves online. It's not everything you just see, you speak. And when you're speaking, speak with sense. Not everything you pry into people's business. To an extent, I was thinking doctors should try their best to stand up for nurses. I say we also should stand up for doctors when they have their issues. But no, there's this toxicity everywhere. Toxic characters everywhere. You can really see a doctor that likes a nurse, that tries their best to fight for nurses. And same thing applies to nurses to doctors, because it doesn't work anywhere. There's this toxic character everywhere. You are lucky. You are very, very lucky. Your personal though. I love the fact that you apologize. That's why I just love about this whole matter. If not. So I'm not someone that come online to drag people, but that statement you made yesterday was very, very sad. It's a very, very sad statement, and don't ever try it again in your life. Thank you.
What we are seeing now is mix of confusion of classification. One side, people are saying this change would affect how nursing programs are funded and how students qualify for certain financial aid. On the other side, some Americans believe the whole thing is being misunderstood, and that was simply a technical shift with no major impact. This is what they believe on one side. Healthcare workers continue to speak out, explaining what this kind of classification means in the real world, not just on paper. Many of them say that when professional is no longer viewed as professional in official system, it can influence respect, perception, and long-term policy decision. And that is why so many nurses feel this touch deeper than just school funding. Meanwhile, a lot of people online are now digging for official documents, fact-checking, and bringing forward new angles. Some are showing how policy differ by state after comparing how other countries classify nursing. This has turned into full of nationwide debate because people want the truth and they want to understand why such is essential field was ever downgraded in first place. And that's why we make part 3 different. The conversation has moved from reaction to much bigger question: what does it mean for the future of healthcare education in United States?
This is a reminder that you do not know anything when you start off nursing. And when you start off, you're not going to know basic things. I didn't know how to use IV pumps. I didn't know how to load a set up a primary or a secondary line.
How does everybody feel about Trump saying that nursing is not a professional degree? I want to know how everybody feels, because I feel like every day I show up to work and I perform at work, and everything that I do at work is professional. I mean, every single thing. Everything about my job is professional. So just me personally, I'm not going to let him decide if nursing is professional or not. Like, are you a nurse? Have you ever worked as a nurse? Have you ever been responsible for someone's life? Have you ever saved someone's life? Who are you to say that nursing is not a professional degree? Sorry, not sorry.
Nursing isn't considered a profession anymore. Have you heard that? I don't really watch the news much or get into politics, but this is the word on the streets. I don't know about y'all, but the Department of Education, this gives nurses another reason to know we're hated. So what they're trying to say is advanced practice nursing degrees and doctorate level nursing degrees, they're not going to be considered as professional degrees anymore. So these advanced practice nurses and doctoral level nursing degrees, they can basically do everything a physician can do, but yet now they're not recognized as professionals. I mean, you are already getting paid less to do the same job as a physician, and now they're not even going to recognize you as a professional degree. Don't you find that disrespectful? We already have a lot of nurses leaving hospitals right now as it is, and we can't keep the new grads. They leave within the first couple years. So we're just going to add fuel to the fire. So you're going to make it more difficult to go back to school because there's not going to be the finances that is going to be available for you to pay for your education. Pay attention, because after they recognize advanced practice nurses and doctoral level nurses as not professional degrees and that funding is cut, it's not coming back. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section. I would love to hear from you. And in addition to that, do you think it's a good day to be a nurse?
I'm gonna need the Department of Education to find something else to do. Find another career or to mess with. Leave us nurses alone, okay? I got an opinion about this. So if you guys don't know, I'm a nurse practitioner. I do possess my Doctor of Nursing Practice degree, DNP. And it's really unfortunate that the Department of Education is proposing the new definition of a professional degree program. Nursing is gonna be left out, but like medicine, dentistry, I think even chiropractors, pharmacy, law is gonna be included. So this means that if nursing is not included, certain advanced nursing programs will be left out when it comes to funding, like federal loans and student aid benefits. That means it's going to be affecting DNP programs, advanced practice nurse programs, nursing leadership, MSN to PhD pathways, and literally the future of the nursing pipeline, pretty much. And for me personally, when I was doing my MSN to DNP program, I needed that loan money to survive. Mind you, I worked part-time, but I needed that extra funding from my loan to pay my tuition and to also to fund my life and to get through and survive school. Because if you ever done that program, y'all already know that the weak won't survive. I was almost deemed weak, okay? Because I had 2 semesters left in my DNP, and I sure enough was this close from dropping out if it wasn't the sake of my mother begging me not to drop out. But I say all of that to say, how dare they? How dare they? Blood, sweat, and tears. This is a very prestigious, respectable profession that people work extremely hard for. I literally dedicated a lot of my life to finish school. I literally started from CNA all the way to DNP. So majority of my life was always doing some work, but always focusing in school so I can be done. You know what I mean? Just to look back and know that people who want to take the same route as me may choose not to take that route, or it's going to be harder to support their life and to pay their tuition. It's going to make grad school more expensive, it's not already expensive. It discourages future nurses to wanting to pursue an advanced degree, undermines our professional standing, which is very disrespectful. Definitely going to worsen provider shortages, which is already a bitch. And it sends the wrong message about the value of nursing. Why do y'all hate nurses so much? I don't get it. So I just say all that. I'm just sending love to the nursing community, people who do have these advanced degrees. It's been a lot of ruckus lately and sharing opinions with colleagues of mine and friends of mine, and it's really disheartening, and it gives out the wrong message. We do bring value, and we literally are the heart of the healthcare industry for a lot of things. Before you see a doctor, you're more than likely going to see a nurse practitioner. A lot of your professors at school are going to be nurse practitioners. Most of them will have Doctor of Nursing Practice degrees. So it's just sad to see how hard people work in this field, and to get to this prestigious level just for it to be ripped away, and for them to discourage the future of people who are in these programs or want to be in these programs. So like, we can't let the government devalue our profession. Sending love out there, stay educated, stay aware, and just know that you matter. So I don't know, I just had to get that off real quick. They never gonna demote me and what I got, because I worked hard for it, and I'll be damned.
This story is growing. The debate is evolving and more information keeps coming out every day. I'll keep breaking it down as long as you want. Update, let me know in the comment what do you think. What is the angle you want to cover in the next part, because this conversation is far from over. This is Rica's Take. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. I love you guys.